The military helps service members develop skills in several fields, including human resources, logistics, strategic planning, information technology, engineering, finance, public affairs, and cybersecurity. This training provides those in the enlisted ranks who often lack formal degrees with the skills to support unit missions and compete for quality jobs after leaving the military. These values provide armed forces veterans with an important set of lifelong principles, making it all but certain that veterans will help inspire teamwork, public service, and a passion for greater good in the professional workplace and beyond. I, Shaurya, on behalf of the Ladder podcast channel, welcome you all to this episode in series of interviews. Today's panelist is a gunner officer who has served in both operational and counterinsurgency settings. Captain Venkat is an army veteran with an extensive experience of 17 years in corporate, and he has been founder and co-founder of various organizations working on noble cause of helping veterans under transition from military to civil life by facilitating the development of new skills, knowledge, and the right attitude for corporate jobs. He is an IIM Lucknow alumnus, and the list of compliments what he is doing is endless. So, without wasting much of our time, let's welcome today's guest. Welcome to the Ladder podcast channel, sir. It's an honor and privilege to interview the person who is doing a wonderful noble cause for the veterans, sir.
Thank you, Shaurya. Thank you for calling me to your show. I'm glad.
Sir, to start with the interview, can you please tell us in brief about your army services, sir?
Oh yeah, in one word, my army career was absolutely adventurous. I spent 5 years as a short service commissioned officer. I was commissioned into the regiment of artillery. Um, Within those 5 years, I moved across Dehradun, Tawang, and all parts of Assam, Firozpur, and Secunderabad. And in the meanwhile, I was deputed to almost 5 or 6 different stations and brigades on different assignments. So it was absolutely adventurous. I had fun of a lifetime with great amount of learning within those 5 years.
So, when was this idea of leaving the armed forces and joining the corporate world was planned, sir? And how well was it planned?
Uh, there are a lot of things, in the hindsight, when I think about it, yes, was it planned? Did I plan it during my service? Or did I, was it destined, predestined? There are a lot of things which seem intriguing. While filling up the application form, the service, I had this option of, like all of us, we do, the option of filling up whether you want PC or only SS. While everybody was saying yes, and even my dad was telling me go for PC, but I was hell bent. No, I'll take only short service commission. I'll opt only for that, the CDS entry. Why? People would ask why when you were opting for the services, why only short service? I had seen my father was in the army. I had seen him. So army, the armed forces life was always here and here. Definitely wanted to get into that, but at the same time, I knew yes, long haul maybe no, because there was one part of the whole thing which was always there ingrained in me, which I always remember, very clearly remember. The struggle of the forces personnel after that. And but at the same time, I wanted to be into the forces. So because I saw my dad also, and my dad's colleagues, and so many others struggle after leaving forces. At the same time, I wanted to get into forces. So I did. And while I was there, during my fag end of retirement and during my fag end of the short service tenure, I had this option of continuing, but I did not because I saw, yes, people were struggling, the same struggle. I could see that repeat in front of me, what I saw so many years back, the same thing repeating in front of me. I said, yes, I think that was it is predestined. And then I clearly made up my mind. I have to leave, and then I really have to solve this problem. It was always at the back of my mind to solve that problem of soldiers struggling after retirement. And so that's why I say, was it destined or was it planned? There is an intersection. There's an intersection. But end of the day, yes, I did leave service after 5 years, and it was a good decision. Every decision is good. Every hard decision is good, and decisions are hard. So I took that decision, and yes, I'm moving in that direction.
Absolutely, sir. With that aim only, I'm sure you must have co-founded 4 to 5 companies, wherein the generic aim of all those companies looks like helping the veterans to find their second career. So, can you tell us about co-founding these various companies, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. My first, I left my service. I quit. Hung up my uniform 2nd of September 2005. On the 3rd of September, Bridgehead Consulting was born with the aim of helping our forces members get into the corporate world. This was the next immediate date itself, because legally we are not supposed to start anything, while we are in service. Bridgehead Consulting, then came ForgeNet.com, then ForgeNet Solutions, FetchDeck, Expert On Site, ApplyDo. Then now what we see, Xainik. The initial companies were all founded by me, where we did. They were decently successful. The first of its kind in India, the first movers, the only ones with a clear-cut objective of simplifying the transition of armed forces personnel, and having done multiple initiatives, the first time initiatives in the industry to acclimatize them about the skills and abilities of our of the veteran talent. So while founding and co-founding was all part of all part of the game, all part of the journey, uh, the core crux remains the same. There has to be a structure, that organization, which has to be moved by a clear-cut vision, and that vision has to be supported by mission, and then people and purpose. All needs to be in sync, and every time, always, it is the same thing: simplify the transition of veteran talent into the CV stream.
Sir, tell us about more about the founding the Xainik, sir.
Almost all of my entities, right from Bridgehead, Fortinet, FetchDeck, ApplyDo, and Expert On-Site, all the others, while they were all centered around the veteran support, they were all for-profit companies, for which, again, majority of the profits of those companies were going into doing the non-profit activities, which were like doing many other activities that we have been doing, many initiatives that we've been carrying on for educating the forces, like running newspapers, the newsletters, doing webinars, doing shows, doing assessments, and many others, which are all the non-profit activities, and the benevolent or beneficial activities that we were doing for this community. And then for all that, we were actually taking, and then we were working with a lot of corporates, doing hiring for them, military hiring for them. When you do a for-profit activity, what happens is your whole and then you, on one side, you are doing a non-profit activity, you are doing a social impact activity. On one side, you have to focus on a for-profit activity which is generating revenue for you. You get torn between the two worlds. You really, you got to take resources from your revenue generation and then put it here for doing the impact activities. you really can't do it long enough. I mean, you really can't sustain it long enough unless you have deep pockets. So that's one. And then I realized a million strong pool, you really can't impact that much when you're doing a for-profit activity. You know, when you're running a for-profit company, you won't be able to move beyond your typical clientele. We're working with 60, 70, 80 odd corporates. We're working with them. So we can't move beyond them. We can't really, work with thousands of companies. So, continuously and there's a lot of investment, lot of spends which goes into doing the impact activities. You got to get that money from somewhere, and then when you're working with clients, maybe 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, you are limited to working in that sphere itself, and within those limited expanse only, within that limited scope only, which will fetch you only that part of it. So you can't move beyond that. You can't move beyond those limited set of clients, which eventually, whatever revenue that you generate, you can't go beyond that to serve this part of the community, which is there. I realized, yeah, this won't. My idea was always to impact, to do a larger good, to do things at scale. Here, I was giving personalized service, but it was limited. The numbers were always limited. We need to do things at scale. So a personalized service at scale cannot happen in the form of what I was doing currently. So that's when I realized, no, I think there has to be a different way to do things. And then we started this non-profit Veteran Success Foundation, and Xainik is the flagship project run under Veteran Success Foundation. The idea is very simple. It's to do these impact activities at large scale. And to do that, we can actually mobilize the resources. We can mobilize the resources of the world, well-meaning people, well-meaning organizations, and government bodies can join with us. And people are already joining up with us to do this. So that is the whole idea behind Xainik, to do things at scale. What the government today is not able to do, what the other companies are not able to do, what we were also not able to do. In fact, after having doing it for 14 years, Bridgehead, Fosnet, and despite me single-handedly, single-mindedly trying to do things, but still we were not able to achieve that goal. So that's why, yes, okay, let's actually make it a larger thing. Let's make this objective, this goal, a publicly owned goal, and then let's do it. So that's why the idea of non-profit is born, and that's why Xainik is born. And the whole idea is simple, leave no soldier behind.
Sir, what are the initial challenges were faced by you when you founded the Xainik, or for that matter, other companies also?
Yeah, challenge is always same. No matter how veteran, how we might feel that we are veterans in the industry, or wherever, challenges always remain the same. It's always like that. All assumptions go for a toss the moment the rubber hits the road. Simple. So it's like this. It's like that. So the moment rubber hits the road, the moment your plan actually goes on ground, it touches the ground. That's when you get to know the reality. That's when things you start feeling the heat. Fortinet, Bridgehead, and others also similar lines. Xainik again the same thing, albeit a different body structure it has, but still the same problems. Yes, couple of things become easy because entry into the market becomes relatively easy. Credibility is built over a period of time. Repute is built. There are testimonials. So that way, yes. Learning wise, yes. Okay, where to burn money, where not to burn money is understood. But still, the challenges is how things turn out. The outcomes are not in our hand. Absolutely. For example, I thought, with Xainik, we would initially there were so many of them who were interested in funding, who are interested in saying, yes, we will donate funds, to Xainik and the cause. When we started hitting the road, we realized it's not going to happen that soon. Again, so that's one of the challenge. And majority of the things that we do under Xainik are free. They will they remain free forever or not is a different question altogether. Will we continue to do it like this is a different question altogether. I mean, things will continue to evolve. They will evolve with iteration, but the assumptions again keep going for a toss, and that's how I think we continue to build things on the fly, to plan things on the fly, to kick out things on the fly. So the thought of, yes, have to be dependent on the donors, the big time donors. Initially, I mean, it went for a toss. The people, their commitments, out of 10 of them, 2 of them have done it. 8 years they take time. It's going to happen. Find the small time donors, the individuals, they are doing it. But the new ones have opened up. Like initially, I did not think about the sponsorships. Now there are brands which are interested to sponsor parts of our website, the platform, or there are brands which are saying they're interested in co-creating projects for the forces. Whatever that we are doing, they'll be interested to sponsor that. So new things come up. Certain things, certain things face the heat.
And what all services are provided by the Xainik.com, sir?
Currently, it's a full-fledged platform which helps a veteran create profile, build a custom-built resume, showcase the capabilities and skills, apply to various opportunities, manage own applications, communicate with the businesses or the employers, and and create a place or showcase or position as a veteran in a sphere of opportunity. All these things a veteran can do on the platform. In terms of the businesses, they can create a profile. They can post opportunities, receive applications from veterans, manage the whole application on this. They can do shortlisting. They can connect. They can communicate with the interested veterans. They can search for veterans on the database. They can again communicate and connect with them. And all this, all this is not just about full-time job. All this is not just about full-time job. This is multidimensional. Right from a veteran can be open for and can access opportunities right from a full-time job to consulting to part-time to freelancing to podcasting opportunities to public speaking opportunities to accessing franchising opportunities or partnership opportunities to volunteering opportunities or any opportunity which can provide the person a growth opportunity. Absolutely. So it's a multi-dimensional growth opportunity platform for veterans. Not everyone is looking for a full-time job. Not everyone is interested in entrepreneurship. Not everyone can do public speaking. But there are people with multi-dimensional needs, multiple opportunities, or people want to access. So for us, veteran sits in the pivot. Veteran sits in the center. And then everything revolves around that person, which will cater to a veteran's multi-dimensional skill sets, abilities, and aspirations.
Amazing, sir. So, Xainik.com has any collaboration with the corporate companies with respect to the job or any specific vacancies?
Yeah, it's xainikjobs.org. Okay, the platform is Xainik Jobs. Under the Xainik umbrella, the first project what we are talking about today is it's about jobs, the opportunities. It's xainikjobs.org. Yes, it's a self-service platform where organizations can register themselves and start, connect, offering the opportunities. So as we speak today, we have about 66 organizations which are registered on the platform and who have posted almost so far till now about 40, 45 opportunities. But 450 applications have been processed with about 120 odd shortlists being done. And the number of finalized offers we don't have, but we can see whatever data that we can track on the platform is what I can tell you. So yes, there are 66 organizations which are there on the platform so far.
So if somebody wants to avail the service of this Xainik.com, sir, they have to register firstly on your website, and then the further process of creating the resume or CV is done, and connecting with the companies is done.
Yes, you're talking about a veteran, right? Any veteran has to register on the xainikjobs.org website, build the profile, build the resume, update the fields, showcase, let the system know the area of interest or open to what kind of opportunities, and then the system does the next thing is helping them connect with the organizations, helping them connect with the suitable opportunities, and helping them apply to those opportunities. And also there are these the features such as alerts. Someone can actually be alerted the moment the interested opportunity comes up.
Sir, any upskilling or course related services is provided by the Xainik.com?
Currently, we are not providing any upskilling course. There are we are identifying partners who can do that, who can do custom built courses for our fraternity. We may come up with something maybe 2 quarters down the line. But correct now we are identifying suitable partners, people who can build meaningful, relevant, and actionable courses for our fraternity.
Sir, please tell us the difference between any startup company and the Xainik Jobs, what you have initiated as a non-profit organization.
All right. See, any business to run has to take a legal shape. The different legal shapes that are available today in the Indian scenario are your sole proprietorship, partnership, LLP, that is limited liability partnership, private limited, and public limited companies. Now, then you have on the other side you have all these are for-profit companies. On the non-profit side, you have a trust, society, and a couple of others. Yeah. Now, we are a Section 8 organization. It's non-profit. So what the government did, what the MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs did was, they found a lot of companies have got are into social impact space. They have the potential to do impact, and can they also need to operate like a private limited company. So they married both the concepts of a trust and a private limited company. So they got both the things together in this, and then so we can and build a Section 8. Section 8 company can operate like a private limited company, which means it can sell services and products while the core purpose being non-profit, which means when we say non-profit, it doesn't mean it is charity. It doesn't mean that everything that we have to do has to be free. What it means, a very, very important thing to be noted is none of the profits generated by the company can be consumed for uh, private purposes, can be taken out as dividends. So it has to be, the profits have to be repurposed for the purpose with which the company is born. For example, Veteran Success Foundation, which runs Xainik Jobs, is founded with one purpose: to increase the employment opportunities for veterans by doing A, B, C, and D activities. It is clearly spelled out in our memorandum of articles and articles of association. It clearly spells out that. So we got to do only those activities, and then whatever that we generate, whatever revenue that we generate, and whatever profits that we make from by doing those activities will have to be repurposed, will have to be utilized only for this purpose and this purpose alone, and it cannot be taken back as dividends. So so people out here will work for salaries. The directors, the founders, like me, I cannot do a share valuation. I cannot do a share increase valuation and say, okay, today it's the share value is 10 rupees and tomorrow it's 1,000, then it goes 1 lakh, and okay, fine, I make profit out of it. No. Let's say tomorrow there's a profit of 1 crore also. I cannot say, okay, I'll take dividends out of this and do it. I am eligible only and only for this salary, whatever that we decide, whatever the board, the committee, the overseeing committee decides. Yes, this is the salary of which for Captain Venkat, because it's not because he's the founder, because he is putting in his time. It is not because that I'm the founder of this company that I am eligible for a salary. No, it is I am working here. I'm working here, as a full-time employee of this company. It's just coincidence that yes, I'm director, but only then I'm eligible for salary. So that is what is a for non-profit entity means in this case. Had that been the other case, which you would have seen in the startup world, you would have heard, startups being valued at so and so crores, so and so millions, and the founders making money. You're actually, your shares are going up, the investors or the founders are able to take profits out of that. That does not happen here. Whereas the whole activities, the whole struggle is the same, but here it's born with a purpose, not born for profits. That's the difference.
What is the team size of Xainik Jobs, sir, and where all the offices are located in the country?
In today's world, you don't require offices all across here. You just require the system, the damn system on which actually we are talking together. Absolutely, through which we are talking. Internet is the office. You don't require offices anywhere. Absolutely. And today, if you're actually building anything which is dependent on physical space, physical infra, it's no, just not required. So we do not have any office. We are Hyderabad headquartered. Because this is the place I am. In fact, my office is registered from my residence. The first floor room is my office, and then everyone else who is associated with Xainik or our foundation is working from their own places. We are completely remotely connected, remotely operated. Today we have three full-time people working with us, and there are more than 150 volunteers in different spheres who are helping us. There are more than 5 companies which are partnering with us for co-creating products and services for our fraternity. And we work with more than 10 service providers to jointly do stuff for people. So in terms of operations, they're huge. We are hands full everywhere, but we are absolutely lean, completely lean in terms of structure.
Great, sir. And how many veterans have been benefited so far from this Xainik Jobs, sir?
Xainik Jobs was launched on the 26th of January this year, this platform. The data which is there on the platform is the data that we can track. Anything happening offline is not what we can track. More than 45 odd positions were posted, out of which, as I told you, 400 something applications were processed. 100 odd applications were shortlisted. That's the only data that we have, and In terms of how many conversions have happened, we do not have any data, which we will put in the process to track it. Because of the limited bandwidth, we do not have anything to track. What happens is after a point, the whether the business or the veteran takes the conversation off the platform. I think because, for example, if you move to the interview levels, if you move for the shortlisting, after the shortlisting, you move to the interview levels, you move for further negotiations and stuff. So you move out of the platform and do it, which people don't, actually update on the platform because there's no necessity per se. At the same time, we don't have the habit also, right, to update if things have happened. So corporates or the veterans also, people have not come back to us saying, "Hey, look, hey, I've got a job here. Okay, I was interviewed." You know, so typical nature of our society. But we will put in some places. But yeah, to answer your question, there has been a cadence. There has been a cadence in terms of the opportunities being shared, uh, applications being processed. So there is a cadence there. So that's all I can say as of now.
And as we can see on the website of the Xainik Jobs, sir, there is an option of join as a business. Please tell us about this option, sir.
Yeah, businesses, because who's no veterans need opportunities. They need growth opportunities. We have 10 categories of growth opportunities, right? Opportunities, right, from employment to volunteering to creative. There are many things. Who will take no? Who needs? Where is the demand? Who needs veterans to fulfill those activities? They're the businesses, right, from big, small startups to political organizations to the semi-government organizations. So when I say businesses, they are the ones, the organizations. They can register themselves on the platform and offer what they have for this particular pool. I mean, so whatever that they offer here for their organization is exclusively for veterans. When they're coming here exclusively looking for veteran talent. So that is the part for business.
Can you tell us about the mission that Xainik Jobs is on for providing a certain number of jobs to the veterans, sir?
Yeah, we have a mission. It's 1 lakh jobs by 2030. The idea is to achieve this by connecting 10,000 businesses with 1 million veteran talent. So by doing that, we should be able to generate 1 lakh opportunities, quality opportunities, meaningful opportunities for our folks.
Sir, as yourself, you are an alumni of IIM Lucknow, sir. As per your experience, what do you feel which would be the best option to pursue a MBA in terms of executive MBA or a distance MBA for veterans, sir?
This has been a controversial topic always, and I've had many discussions online and offline both on this. Honestly speaking, this is my personal opinion, which I have noticed. This is my uh, experience, my opinion after having seen thousands of veterans transition from military to civil over the last 17 years. I've seen them up close. I've interacted with hundreds of organizations, what they look for when they look for veterans, when they look for these courses. So, joining a course, if it's giving you a platform, if it's giving you a 10x jump from where you are, it's worth it. If it's not, if it's just a place where the employers think, hey, okay, here is a group where here is a group or a place where I can find 50 veterans at one place. So if it's like a market, okay, इस market में यहाँ पे सारे vegetables एक जगह मिल जाती हैं मेरे को, not worth it. But if that course is giving you a 10x jump, which is beyond just the tag of just being a veteran, then it's worth it.
Sir, as per your experience, what are the tailor-made qualities of veterans upon which they should plan to encash in their corporate jobs?
Interesting question. Tell me this: the only thing tailor-made for veterans is the tag veteran itself. That's it. Only those things which come with the tag veteran. There are certain things. There are certain pros and there are certain cons. Which again are purely perceptions. They are the only things which are tailor-made. Rest everything is unique to the individual. Believe me when I say this is the truth, because the beauty of veteran talent pool is that they are completely heterogeneous in a seemingly homogeneous structure, which means I am from the regiment of artillery, short service 5 years, a non-techie, and I take 10 similarly placed, okay, the kind of postings, the kind of regiments, the kind of roles that we would have done in the forces, almost everything similar. Group 10 of us, homogeneity is there in the structure. Okay, gunners, short service, army service, but completely heterogeneous in terms of what we are, the kind of skill sets that we have, the abilities that we have, and what we can do. And that is what is not being understood by majority. For example, I never picked up a full-time job. I mean, I was always about this part of it. I was always living on the edge. I was never, I was always trying to beat the status quo. I was always challenging the status quo. Someone would say, yes, Fauji is, a defense guy will never do these things. What are you doing? Because that's perception. So that's why I say it's unique. A completely heterogeneous mix under a homogeneous, seemingly homogeneous uniform.
Great, sir. Any last word of advice for the veterans under transition, sir?
Apart from the regular advices, prepare, do this, do that. Yes, they're all there, and everybody said that. Everybody knows it. Preparation part of it, everybody knows. Simulate what happens when rubber hits the road. That's the reality. So simulate the realities is what I'll say always. Uh, your plans are your first casualty. Your preparation goes for a toss the moment you hit the road. So to minimize the damage, or rather to optimize the outcomes when you come out, things that you have to do, try doing them before leaving. And there are many ways to do those kind of simulations. So my advice to you would be do that, do that part. Connect with people like us. There would be others also. Be part of those simulation activities, which would actually give you enough space and scope to encounter and experience the almost real challenge. That is what I'll say, which will really help you.
Indeed, sir. Thank you very much for your valuable time, sir. I'm sure the audience will be benefited from all your valuable suggestions and the experience that you have shared. And we, the ladder team, wish you all the best for the noble cause what you have initiated against the veterans, sir. More power to Xainik Jobs, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. It's more power to Xainik because more power to veterans. Our single-minded focus is helping veterans succeed. Veterans succeed, nation succeeds because that's the veterans were serving once upon a time. They were part of the society once upon a time, and after veterans, they are part of the society. So they succeed, everyone succeeds. And my appeal to everyone would be just support veterans, not by anything else, just by understanding they've got huge potential. Do not limit them. Do not stereotype. Do not typecast them. that they can do only this. Given a chance, given the right space, they can build huge scope. So that's the only thing. What I'll request from everyone is, experiment with veterans. It'll always pay off. Jai Hind.